I'm Johan Rashivega here from our sound room in Holyoke Media from One Court Plaza here in Holyoke, Massachusetts, and I want to welcome Jessika Rozki, owner of Rozki Rides, a service that has been present in our city for a number of years already, and it's all about to talk about this story of success, growth, and a lot of learning that I think is important that we take the time to look back and celebrate, because you have come a long way and it's been such a ride.
Well, thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been an amazing journey. I love every bit of it. Coming from all the way from 2019 till now, it's been quite an experience, an amazing experience after all.
So, how it all started? Because it began with an idea that you took the time to learn about the process and everything that is involved in it. And just to get it started is such a task, an endeavor. So, let's start with that. How it all began for Rozki Rides.
So, Rozki Rides came on an idea of how to help parents with transportation and how for myself be able to take care of my daughter. I am a former school bus driver at heart. I did it for one of the local cities around for over 13 years before I started my own transportation. And I am very fond of it. Like, I truly love children's transportation. It's in my heart. It's what I do. And it just got to a place where I had a need, and the parents in my community had a need. So I took the skills that I had and kind of improvised it to see how can I help my community at the same time be able to raise my daughter at the same time.
And then it all started, and while the process of getting started and beginning to connect and make yourself available for the community, and then COVID-19 happened. And put such a big change for our whole lives. And I remember clearly when we were also in Holyoke Media trying to figure out how to serve the community instead of creating content for entertainment or other type of coverage of events. It became more a news informational service. And I remember having the opportunity of talking to you when you offered, with all the kindness and understanding the need of the community, that people needed, especially elders, needed to get from home to the stores in order to purchase the most basic and important necessities for food and the essentials to survive. And you were offering transportation for elders free of charge. And I think this not only shows your passion and your quality as a person and someone who is helping the community, but I think it also made you realize of the strong potential that your business has, not only for the initial idea of transportation for children to their schools and home, but that is something that is more needed in all different aspects for multiple people in our community. So how this transition into the pandemic isolation impacted in all possible ways your business?
Well, as we all know it, I guess the pandemic was a very hard time for everybody around, and everybody were coping, everybody in their own ways. And me as a person that I love to give, I love to be part of the community, I love to learn and implement, and my heart goes a lot to those who are in need of certain things, you know, like transportation is a big obstacle for a lot of people, especially seniors, especially working parents. And since we couldn't no longer serve the students and help out the parents, what better way than to be able to still use my services and provide it to somebody else who's still in need, that didn't have, you know, another form of transportation, that knew, okay, she exists, she's able to get us from point A to point B. And it did help a lot for other people to know what we do and the quality that we're trying to stay with. And it helped us a lot. I think the whole pandemic opened a lot of what we really are made of, right? Whether to learn and from ourselves and to learn from others of what could come from such thing.
And then with this comes the need to continue operating, and at the same time you found a way to keep growing. So when you started, you had specific type of vehicles to move people, and then you begin to see the needs, and with that factors that are investment and make sure that it's affordable and that makes sense for the business. So tell us a little bit about that evolution of Rozki Rides from the beginning until what it is today.
It's been it's been a fun journey, honestly. I started with just one minivan. Like I said, putting all my heart and passion into it, wanting to help parents, and it was just me, my daughter, and a minivan, right? And then I kept on seeing the need, and even though through the pandemic we had to close down, we couldn't make no movements, I didn't want to catch myself feeling down and out on things that I couldn't control. But what I knew that I could control was keep learning, keep implementing. What can I do to make things better? Because I know eventually we were not going to be all closed in forever, right? Eventually we were going to have to come back out. I always saw that as a slow down moment because we're always living in such a fast-paced life. But it allowed me to say, okay, this is what you need to learn. And even though it started as a hobby, I saw the opportunities. And when the pandemic all of a sudden started slowing down and things are starting to open up, it showed me, wow, like there's a need. Now I'm getting even more phone calls. Now it went from being directly to parents. Organizations are actually starting to reach out and saying, hey, like we need transportation for 15, 20 kids. And I was like, whoa, like I don't have that size vehicle, like there's opportunity in something that I love so much. And I was able to say, okay, well, what do? Do I say that I don't have it, or do I find and figure out a way to make it work? And I think that's when it actually went to the next level, that I said, you know what, I'm going to let go of my fears. I'm going to try it out and see how it goes. And I reached out to an amazing friend that she became my first driver. And we bought another vehicle and started serving a daycare center. We did our first contract. From there, little by little, I was able to even learn more, right? Because if we don't keep learning, we don't grow. And a lot of it has to do with seeking information and learning and putting yourself in the right rooms, networking, and being able to surround yourself with the right people, that eventually you keep seeing your calling at the end of the day, right? You see what you're most passionate about. And when you start doing that, it doesn't feel like work. Like to me, it didn't feel like work until now that I actually got my office space after so many years. But we went from one vehicle to the second vehicle for our first contract. It allowed me to even keep pursuing even more and saying, like, I don't know what this is, but I want to buy a school bus. Like, my passion is in the school bus. So going from a minivan to a van to all of a sudden I had to get into prayer and ask God for direction. And I kid you not, he answered. Soon as I say my amens, somebody called me up and say, hey, we have a school bus for sale. And I just freaked out, and my tears just kept on rolling down my face, because it was just like, wow, like here goes the answered prayer, and for me to be able to say, wow, like this is God manifesting, right? God showing me like that is the way of something that I love so much. And we went from a little used school bus to then all of a sudden I bought another van, and then we were having little other contracts around and another driver, and then little by little we just kept on doing things at I don't want to say like a fast or a slow pace, but I want to say in a steady, healthy way, because I didn't want to grow so fast to the point that I lose the quality of my transportation. But I knew that I had to grow in order to keep providing the services that I was bringing. So it was like, okay, we're gonna jump into this little step, from this little step, take the next step, and little by little get to the next step. So it was slowly and steady and figuring things out as we went about it, and it was kind of hard because at one point in time it was just, there was no loans, there was no funding from anywhere. It was just me, my sweat and tears, of me working hard, not paying myself the first few years. Thank God I was able to pay my driver, so that was, that does say a lot. But with the time and things flowing accordingly, it allowed me to get to the next step that I am now. That now I'm all the way up to 7 vehicles. Now we have a full-size, brand new, straight from the factory school bus. We have a medium-sized school bus. We have a mini school bus. We have 3 other vans. We still have our minivan that we first started with. And sometimes I see her acting up, but I'm like, no, I'm not ready to let her go yet. But I keep making sure that all of my vehicles are well maintained, that we are getting in the right places at the right time. More organizations are starting to see the quality of services that we provide. And that's one thing that I'm very proud of. We don't compare ourselves to any other transportation. Sometimes people do ask, oh, what do you think about your, the next transportation? And I honestly tell them I'm not focused on them. I'm focused on what I'm building and where we are going. And that brings me joy. And I keep doing what I have to do.
And particularly focusing now on the aspect you mentioned about the quality of your services, which I think is what is additionally to the level of a business that started from the ground, completely created by yourself, and still today being in full operation under your supervision. What are these values of quality that you make sure that make Rozki Rides a service that not only your clients from the beginning, but also now more organizations are looking for you, that goes beyond the established assumption that yes, vehicles in good condition, a timely service, safe, but what additionally makes Rozki service to stand out in terms of the values on the quality of its services?
I think communication is key. A lot of organizations, they want quick communication, direct communication. And you, as a person that you're providing a service, you got to also understand what your clients need. And understanding that aspect of everything allows you to listen to them and say, okay, what is it exactly that you need? And when they open up and tell you, you're able to fill those gaps. And they're able to say, okay, that's what I want. And that's what has allowed us to stay in those things, being prioritizing them. My drivers are amazing in everything they do. They love the kiddos as much as I do. It's something that they don't take for granted. And I think just finding the right people as well is key. It's key. You let them know from the beginning, what are your expectations as a business owner? What is the expectation of being a driver? Because they're just not regular drivers. They're care drivers. We're taking care of the kiddos from the moment they come in to the moments they get out, whoever's coming in. Even when we were doing seniors at a point in time, and we still sometimes do them, we taking care of them. We let them be seen. A lot of transportation is just like, oh, hurry up, get in, get out, and that's it. No, we take it a little bit above and beyond, making sure that we also understand the person's need that are coming into our transportation.
So your process has led you to have now a full float of vehicles with different options and possibilities to serve more and more clients in the region. Mm-hmm. And now you are establishing your office of operations. So,
oh my God, yes.
First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
I think it's important that we really take this moment to celebrate this accomplishment, because seeing how you began with one vehicle, mm-hmm. and a lot of challenges, yes. in the moment when it all started, and you have been growing, and you have been proving that when you put all the effort and commitment and the energy and the work that is needed, you can go this far and you can accomplish this much. And especially in going back to what you mentioned about being seen and about making sure that people feel that.
Yeah.
I think that includes you, because seeing a Latino woman finding her way and making sure that the business establishes and grows and it works and provides a service that is being of real service for the community is something that I feel is a perfect example for many more to follow.
Mm-hmm.
And I even wonder how many people have maybe asked you for advice or took inspiration from your own experience on this.
So I get a lot of people in my inbox. I get a lot of people that reach out for advice, or even just to have a sit down and just have a coffee with me, just because they feel like I inspired them one way or another. For me to even share ideas with them, what I think about their ideas. Like, it's been a very beautiful experience, like extremely beautiful experience. Is it easy? No. Is it very hard? Definitely. But I believe with perseverance, the love for what you do, having the right support system, and sometimes the support system is not what you expected it to be, but it's even strangers along the way, right? That will come in your path and they will give you that uplift right there and then when you need it. It's your children. Like, my children helped me to get where I am today. I was able to go ahead and get certifications and become a trainer myself. I train my older boys, so I have 4 children in total. So never let the fact that you're even a single mom or a mom in itself or a married mom, it doesn't matter. Don't use the excuse of having children, use it as a burden to not get to where you want to be, you know? I think sometimes they're our biggest motivation of getting out of our comfort zone and saying, I want more. And there's nothing wrong with wanting more out of life, and say, like, you know what? This is what I'm passionate about. How can I make this work? And how do I find the right people around the path? You know, I remember in the beginning, I had a mentor that I was telling him and letting him know, like, I don't know other business people. Like, I'm the only one I know. Like, I'm the first one in my family to even think about having a business, which I didn't even realize I had a business at the point in time. But he kept on telling me, Jessika, you just need to surround yourself with the right people, and from there you will flourish. And I remember telling him at one point in time, I was like, I don't know what the heck I'm doing. I have no idea. I'm a slow learner. So please be patient with me, because when I get it and I understand it, I guarantee you that I'm going to flourish. And up to this day, I have stood my word, and I still keep in contact with him. And I'm like, hey, like, I'm here. And he's like, Jessika, I'm here for it all. So it's great to have that support system along the way.
And I think that support system is the key for that success, because when even you have the motivation, sometimes the lack of knowledge of many things in some points of the process makes you feel uncertain, to doubt yourself, and that is the moment where you need to be prepared to tackle down those moments of self-doubt and just go for it, but also knowing that you need to make the right decision. So it's a very complex process. And with that, I am thinking, especially looking back, what do you think are right now the challenges that you have to deal with, or maybe still dealing with them today, but at the same time, those challenges that have been opportunities for you to learn and grow and make you be who you are today as a business owner and as an entrepreneur?
What I can say about it is, it's not easy. It's really not easy. But not even looking at things as a failure or that things went the wrong way. It's just kind of like, okay, like I went through this process. It didn't work out, but you know what? Cry it out, let it all out, and then just pick yourself right back up and say, okay, that didn't work. how can I improve the next time that opportunity comes around, right? And sometimes we don't have it all figured out. A lot of times there's still things I'm still learning. Every day I'm still learning. Every day I'm still trying to get from point A to point B to making sure like things are going accordingly. And if I don't know the answers, I seek for answers. And if I don't know where to go about it, I'll be able to reach out to somebody and say, hey, I need this. Do you know how can I get this information? And people are so willing to open up and help you all along the way that it has gotten me to where I am today. Of even recently, I just finally got my office space, something that I never even saw coming. Like, did I have a vision of something beautiful? Yes. But sometimes you have a vision doesn't mean like it's going to end up there, right? But seeing it like now is that I'm starting to come in. I see the logo every time I pull up to the drive-in, and I'm like, oh my God, like that's all me. It's exciting to see how people will support you, and to even just take a seat back and say, wow, like I did that, and not just me, but the people that I surrounded myself, because of my drivers, because of my children being around, because of having the right support at the right time, helped me to where I am today. So it's been a heck of a beautiful, scary, lonely at times, but so full of so many rewards all at one place.
So with the opening of your new office space, what are now the new dreams and the new aspirations for Rozki Rides?
Ooh, there's a lot. Like with my office space, I'm looking to be able to provide a lot of trainings, not to just my company, but to other small little companies that are already established, that they provide transportation to the kids for their own after school programs. And what I mean by that is like there's after school programs that have their own transportations, but they don't have the trainers to make sure that they are filling all the gaps of the laws and be able to implement them. So I want to be able to be an assistant to them, not just for myself, because I know what my company brings, right? But help the organizations in itself. I plan on growing into further things. And I don't want to share a little bit too much, but it's bigger and greater things. I see myself owning a big lot full of a lot of vehicles. I see myself having a full staff one day, not just in one city, but in multiple cities, and be able to keep providing the services that we do. So it's a lot. It's a lot that I have my vision formed on, but it's a beautiful vision.
And that is what keeps everything moving, because as you said, as you keep learning, there are more things to do, and you realize there are always going to be more to keep doing for the community, especially because you have been always staying focused on serving the community in all possible ways. And that is why I wanted to make sure that we had this time to talk about it, because it's not only to talk about the business and its evolution and its success as a business, but also all the big human quality that is behind that is also an inspiration for many more to follow and to somehow be influenced, because this is what it makes a community to grow, to thrive, and to feel supported. The same way you mentioned, you had that support that helped you to be where you are today.
Yes, community, I think, is so key. You have to get involved. You have to put yourself out there. People don't know what you provide if you don't put it out there, right? And if you don't surround with people that could help you and further out your vision, then you're going to stay just still. If you want to grow, you have to be part of the community. You have to be a person that it's not all about the taking, but willing to give back. And I think when we learn how to give more than what we take, the blessings come in itself.
So how can people get to know more about Rozki Rides, to have information, to contact you? And now that you have, or you will be having an office space available, where it's located, all this information for people to reach out to Rozki Rides.
So Rozki Rides could be reached through our phone number, which is 413-314-3154. and through our email, which is roskirides@gmail. My office space, I'm still working on certain things, so I won't mention the address yet, but soon as it comes around, I will give you more information or the location for the day of the grand opening. You'll be able to kind of like let the world know where we are located. It's a beautiful space, good enough, and it's a beautiful space. From the moment I saw it, I knew that was our space, and I will definitely be having a grand opening very soon, and from there I'll be able to tell you the locations, because we're not just in one location, we're actually in 2 locations. So depending on how everything works out, I'll be able to tell you, okay, this is where our main location is, this is where our second location is. So it's a multiple places that we're doing business out of.
So this is our conversation with Jessika Rozki, owner of Rozki Rides, and also powerful woman, entrepreneur, and an inspiration who has been a strong leader in the community, and someone who we always have felt this really strong connection, especially because seeing this evolution and this progress through the years, and particularly with the challenges we had during the pandemic. It was beautiful to get to talk to you in that moment when the situation became a full display of serving and helping others. And some years after, we are here in person in our space to continue talking about the work that continues happening, and also to celebrate the accomplishments that you had during this time.
Well, congratulations to you too, because I still also remember how we had our first conversation, and seeing this beautiful space that you have right now, and it's about the community and what you provide as a service. I believe it's coming like in a whole full circle. So thank you for even having me here. I'm very honored. I'm grateful for everything that happens, I'm grateful to have met you at the time that I did, and seeing your accomplishment as well. I believe that when we interact, good things happen, and just being able to give that good energy and let people know, like no matter what they accomplish, like keep going. Don't give up on yourself, especially if you love what you do. Don't see nothing has a challenge that you can't accomplish. Always know that with time and perseverance, you'll be able to get to where you want to get to.
Perfect. Anything else that you would like to add?
No, I just want to say thank you. Like, this opportunity is, I'm extremely grateful, and just letting people know, like, don't give up in your dream. If you have something that you're so passionate about it, even if it takes a year, 2 years, 3 years, just keep going. Even if you have to slow down and go back a little bit, it's okay to go back. It's okay. Never feel guilty or feel bad because you had to take a couple steps back. The point is not giving up and going back, and start stepping by step, step by step, going back to it. Don't let it go. A lot of people get caught up in the negative side of things and saying, okay, well, this is too hard, I can't do it, and they eventually give up. But if you believe in yourself enough, you will accomplish to where you want to get to. Like, to me, it was just a dream that I could be able to provide transportation to underserved communities without coming out of their pockets, out of the parents' pockets. That was my biggest passion, and my biggest thought was like, how am I going to get transportation for children and for parents so they don't pay? And I'm in that stage right now, just because I knew there was something bigger than me, and God provided the way little by little.